Hi, this is Kevin Deal from Upscale Audio, and today we're going to talk about an unbelievable opportunity on a very expensive Tannoy subwoofer at a price you won't believe. However, before we go there, I want to say something to you folks. We had done something to help out with a nonprofit ballet company, Nouveau Chamber Ballet, a couple months ago, and we took a portion of all sales and we donated it to this wonderful, wonderful group of people that help with the arts, and the ballet. Oh, look, all performing arts have been decimated, right? I don't care if it's opera, rock music, ballet. They all took big hits. I couldn't do everything, but my wife, as you know, Miss Laura, she teaches ballet, and she teaches at that school, and she teaches at another place down in Irvine. And so we decided the nonprofit really was taking the hit, so we made a nice donation to them, and I want to thank you for being a part of that. Thank you so, so much. Now, somebody put a little crappy comment in the comment section that said, hey, why don't you say how much you gave her with a percentage? And I go, well, because you're not supposed to talk about dollars and cents. I mean, I don't think that they would want us to do that either. It's rude. But I'm going to say something to you. You know, my wife, Miss Laura, works at 2 studios, and we made a decision over a year ago that she would work for them for free. And she has continued to do so over a year, you know, reduced hours and then teaching classes that are almost empty and all that, but she's been working for free. Not to demean her work, but we want to do something to help those people that are less fortunate, and we've been doing just fine here, and I just want to do what we can, all right? Enough of that. Also, the videos, this is a work in progress. We're changing things here. It got too dark. Now I want to brighten it up. We're going to, you know, so bear with us while we mess with that stuff. Enough of that. I want to take apart gear. I want to tell you about some cool stuff. This is some cool stuff. Now listen to what I tell you all the time. Subwoofers are not just about getting bass response. They are not. They're about increasing scale. They are about getting better mid-range. I mean, I'm a vocals nut, you know. I mean, and I like crooners, and I like Leonard Cohen, and Johnny Cash, you know, and I like to hear that voice, and some speakers just don't get it right. Even if it's a great big speaker, sometimes they just don't get it right, and it could be that the room is hard to pressurize, right? And so a subwoofer is about fixing all those problems you can't sometimes fix with speaker placement. And I've also told you, don't buy subwoofers from companies, I'm going to say this very clearly, don't buy subwoofers from speaker companies, typically, that are ANDA subwoofers, right? It's going to be like a speaker company that says, oh, we got to make a subwoofer, so here's the ANDA sub. And they might farm it out to somebody to build it. They might not even build it, or they don't put a lot of effort into it. Subwoofers are a different category, and you should buy one from a company like Rel or Jail Audio. I mean, now that's not an absolute rule. There have been some companies that really throw a lot of engineering at it, but there's also some that just do a crappy job, and I don't want to annoy them by saying it, but I'm going to say it. Now, this is a different situation here. This is Tannoy, and this is a real Tannoy. This subwoofer was made in the United Kingdom. And it's a $7,200 subwoofer that weighs 84 pounds. What's this subwoofer about? This is going to be designed for somebody that maybe has kind of a bigger room that's hard to pressurize. So if you get a pair of these, I think it's going to do the job for you. Or maybe you don't have room for a pair of subwoofers, but you still need something that really can move some air, and this one's going to do that. Why is it? Because it has 2 active drivers. Look over here. This driver is unbelievable. You tap your finger on it, you tap your finger on this 12-inch aluminum cone and feel the suspension, and you know it is something special. So there are 2 12-inch drivers. A lot of subwoofers are going to have an active driver and a passive radiator that works off the back wave of, just for lack of a better term, of the active driver to help reinforce the bass and give you more output. This one doesn't do that. 2 12-inch active drivers that are massive, and to make that happen, there's a couple things you got to do. One of them is you got to give it a ballsy amp, and this is a 1,000-watt amplifier, not 1,000 watts peak, all that bullshit. It's a 1,000-watt RMS amp, and it was done the right way. Now, something else I love about this subwoofer is this. If you look at the cabinet, you go, oh, that's really pretty. You're going to notice that the front of the cabinet is curved, and that's to reduce reflections within the cabinet. And the cabinet is not made out of particle board, nor is it made out of MDF. Just like the big gun Tannoy stuff, just like my Westminsters that I have in my home right now, it is made of birch ply. And birch ply is more expensive to work with, it's more difficult to work with, but it really is the gold standard. So this is a birch ply cabinet, and inside the cabinet, it is fully braced, so it is badass. Comes in at 84 pounds, right? Oh my God, but you know what? Hell, it better be good. At $71.99 retail, and I'm gonna tell you what the price is. You got to go to the website to look. My hope and desire, because I am on your side, right? My hope and desire is to have, there's just a handful of them, and hopefully they're going to come in at under $2,500. I want to do this the best way I can for you. People, you know, we just had somebody buy a really expensive piece of gear, and people go, oh, isn't that cool? He came in and spent, you know, $120,000. I go, that is cool, and I love that he got a really nice system that he could afford it. My big thrill is the guy that was like I was when I was 16. I mean, you used to be able to get hi-fi gear, believe it or not, like Marantz. Sometimes you'd be able to find it at swap meets when I was in high school. I mean, the distributors would sometimes take cool stuff out there, and it was the only way I could claw my way into something that was better than I could afford, and I get a thrill out of this, if you haven't already figured that one out. All right, now, this one has full DSP processing. Oh, let's talk about the hookups first. All right, this will not hook up to your speaker leads. Forget about it. It has a pair of RCA inputs and a pair of XLR inputs. So it's only going to hook up to preamp out or subwoofer out from your integrated amp. That's it. Does not have speaker leads in. It also has a set of RCA outs and XLR outs. So you can use that to daisy chain one of these to another one if you want to, or you can use the built-in crossover. Now listen to what I'm going to say. This is adjustable from 31 Hertz to 125 Hertz for the subwoofer itself. In other words, it'll operate from 125 Hertz on down to what its cutoff is, and you can lower that crossover point, okay? And you have to do that by ear and by what's going to work best in your home. You also have a separate adjustment for what's called high pass, but it's a separate adjustment. Some subwoofers, if you adjust the crossover for the woofer, let's say to 60 Hertz, and you want to use the high pass to cross over your main speakers, it's going to be at 60 Hertz. This one allows you to set them separately. How cool is that? And why would you want to do that? Well, because sometimes you need to. Sometimes you want to run a little more bottom end to your main speakers than you might think, or maybe a little bit less. Maybe you want to get a little bit more body from your main speakers. Or maybe they're getting stressed a little bit and you need to back it off. Or maybe you don't want to do anything at all and just run them full range. It's going to be up to you. The power is in your hands. Now, as far as operating the subwoofer as just a subwoofer, forget the crossover point to your main speakers. Let's talk about the sub. You have an adjustable phase. What is that? These woofers are going to be moving in and out. Your main speakers are moving in and out. We need them to have moving towards you at the same time. If one of them is moving towards you, and if the subwoofer is moving towards you and the main speakers are moving back, they'll cancel each other out. And so you could end up actually having less bass by adding a subwoofer. So this one is kind of cool because it is continuously variable on the magic knob. The magic knob is going to let you change it from 0 to 180 degrees, and you can do it in 15-degree increments to get the best timing. And it's going to be easy to do that. You're just going to listen and listen for bass extension and listen for the tightness of the bass when you turn that knob. And now let's talk about how you cross over the subwoofer itself. As I mentioned, 31 hertz on up to 125 hertz, right? What's cool about this is on the magic knob, you have a built-in parametric EQ. So let's say you have this operating from 90 hertz on down to whatever the cutoff is in your room. And let's say you have a little bit of a bass peak up here. Or maybe you've got a little bit of a bass suck out down here. You're going to be able to pick out those points and increase them or decrease them separately with the parametric EQ. You can increase the volume or decrease it, and you can change something that is called the Q. And the Q means, let's say you picked a frequency of 47 hertz. I can keep that 47 hertz point I'm adjusting. I can make it very narrow or make it a little bit wider. It just gives you more flexibility into the room to get things just the way you want it. Now, here's another cool feature. The magic knob also has 3 presets. So you can store 3 different settings into the subwoofer to make instant comparisons, or maybe different settings for different moods or how you like to listen to music. How cool is that? Comes in a few different finishes. You can take a peek at our website to see what's available because we will not have a million of these. It has magnetic grills for both sides. We'll show you what that looks like. I mean, look, I love Tannoy stuff. I got Kensingtons in my office. I got Sterlings. I had Cheviots, and then when we moved to the new house, I screwed up the cabinet that I made for my man cave, and I've got Sterlings in there. It is rocking. I got a pair of Westmans. I love Tannoy. They are so amazing. I mean, you listen to that dual concentric, and it is absolute magic. And to be able to get something like this from a company like Tannoy to you folks at this kind of a price is a real thrill for me. So look, go to our website. Don't believe a word that I say. You know, do your own due diligence and talk to my non-commissioned salespeople. Look, I'm not here to try to just slug stuff out of here. I want you guys to know we really try to listen, and we really want to treat your system like it's ours. Thanks.